to Royal Rebounds TV with Calvin and Barry. Just two crazy fans of the Sacramento Kings and they sharing their opinion. So be sure that you subscribe. It's for the fans, by the fans. Whether you chilling on the couch or wildin' in the stand. For laid back conversations about the Kings, subscribe here. Staying down until we come up thinking this gon' be our year. We're here, drinking beer, talking about the Kings. Be sure you subscribe so you can hear that bell ring, yeah.
What's up, Kings fans? Welcome back to Royal Rebounds TV, your favorite Sacramento Kings YouTube channel.
Thanks for joining us tonight, Royal family. Glad to have you. This is the Royal Rebounds Podcast. Today we are talking, hopefully I don't lose my voice at some point here, but today we are talking about all things Kings. We're breaking down the game between the Magic. Tonight, we finally have some trade scenarios that don't involve Ben Simmons to talk about, which is exciting. Harrison Barnes is back. And is there a feud going on between Buddy Hield and Solomon Hill? We'll get to it.
Man. We'll be right back. We're here, we're drinking beer, and we're talking about your Sacramento Kings. If you're a Kings fan, make sure you hit that like button. And if you enjoy this content, consider subscribing to the channel. This is your Sacramento Kings Nightcap. Well, Kyle, Harrison Barnes is back. Adam Silver was in attendance tonight. And the Sacramento Kings score 142 points. They give up a season high 132, but they handled it against the Orlando Magic. Kings are on a 3-game winning streak. Portland lost tonight. Everything's looking pretty good, huh?
Yeah, if you like defense, then you probably shouldn't have watched this game. But that being said, it was very exciting. The Kings do post a new season high, 142 points, breaking that 140-point mark that they put up against Charlotte, who is their next opponent that we'll talk about later. Man, I'm just glad that the Kings brought their jump shot to Golden One Center tonight because if they were missing, this could have gone very, very poorly. They did what they had to do. They beat a team that they should beat. They needed to get this game. Doesn't matter if it wasn't perfect, as we're going to talk about. They needed to get this win. 3 in a row, 5 of the last 7. They're on a good little streak here right now.
Yeah, as I mentioned, Harrison Barnes is back. He was in the starting lineup tonight. Terrence Davis was in the starting lineup. You know, looking at this Magic squad, there is a ton of young talent on this team. I was looking at the injury report. You got Michael Carter-Williams. You got Markelle Fultz. You got, who's the tall dude? Jonathan Isaac. It's crazy how many guys are injured. Jalen Suggs, he's out too. He was a high draft pick in this year's draft. They just have so much young talent on this team. It is a talented team, but the Kings were able to come away with the victory. It's funny, I was making the thumbnail for this, and I'm like, who do I put on for the Magic? Like, I don't even know who their best player is at this point.
Well, we know who it was tonight.
I put Cole Anthony on, and he ended up having a crazy good game. Kyle, you want to run us through the box score here?
Yeah. There is so much to talk about here if you want to break down statistics in this game. Get this. There were 14 players tonight that played in today's game on both teams that shot 50% or better from the field. And Harrison Barnes shot 5 of 11. So there was very nearly 15 players in this game that shot 50% or better from the field. Just a crazy, crazy offensive game. De'Aaron Fox leads the way for the Kings, 33 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, a steal and a block apiece. Tyrese Haliburton had himself a game, 18 points, 11 assists, 3 steals, 3 rebounds. Harrison Barnes, 16 points in his first game back. Davion Mitchell was great off the bench, 18 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and Cole Anthony led the way for the Magic with 33 of his own.
We also got to take a look at Franz Wagner, a guy that you are a huge fan of. 2 for 2 from three-point range, 19 big points from him tonight. You know, this Magic team has got a lot, like I said, a lot of young talent. But Kings were able to get away with the victory. All right, I'm looking here at team stats. 54% tonight. Field goal range for the Kings, 49 for the Magic. The Magic shot a ridiculous 47% tonight from three-point range. The Kings shot 44, which is also crazy. 84% from the free throw stripe tonight for your Sacramento Kings. Tied on rebounds at 43 apiece. Assists were pretty close as well. Kings only had 8 turnovers in this game. But the numbers that really stand out to me are fast break points. Only 2 for the Magic, 9 for the Kings. The Kings didn't have a single fast break point until the third quarter, which makes me wonder a little bit about this fast-paced offense. But did you talk about Buddy Hield at all?
I didn't mention Buddy Hield, but I'm glad you brought him up. 2 of 13 shooting today, 1 of 10 from 3. It was just another one of those games for Buddy Hield. But Terrence Davis, Buddy Hield 2.0, continues to shoot well from the outside. You can really tell he's gained a ton of confidence, in this past 2 weeks. Whenever Alvin Gentry took over the team, he's been given the starting role. We saw him remain in the starting role, even though Harrison Barnes came back tonight. And he continues to play well. This game, there were no fast break points in the first half because both teams were just walking it down and hitting threes.
Mm-hmm.
There was very little resistance from either side.
They closed the door.
Tonight.
I think it was official. They left the doors closed tonight.
Yes. Yeah, there was no wind blowing in Golden One tonight. So, I'll be straight to the point. I was very disappointed with what I saw from Sacramento defensively. Even in the third quarter when they started to pick it up, they ended up getting a few turnovers, created some fast break points. They started to play a little bit faster. All of that was good, but overall they were not sound defensively at all. They gave up 130 points. I thought they defended the screens, both on-ball screens and off-ball screens, absolutely terribly tonight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This Magic team is not a good three-point shooting team. They're not a good scoring team. They're towards the bottom of the league in scoring. But when you see Cole Anthony come out and hit his first 3-4 threes in a row, it's time to not go under the screen anymore.
Yeah.
And it's time to blitz that screen immediately. You got to get the ball out of his hands. They just did not do that at any point tonight.
Yeah, and isn't it weird that everybody was making shots except for Buddy Hield?
Even Mo Bamba can hit threes now, apparently.
Yeah.
I don't know when that happened.
He had a buzzer beater. What was that, the end of the third quarter or something?
At
halftime.
halftime.
Or halftime?
Yep.
Yeah, that was really, really crazy. And we saw Rashawn Holmes get hit in the eye again. And I say again because he just seems to get hit in the eye like every game now. It's crazy. Like we talked about,
to start wearing goggles.
Yeah, we talked about the Amari Stoudemire situation, what happened with him with the detached retina. This was by far the worst eye injury that I've seen from him.
It was bad.
There was blood everywhere, and it was really sad. But the thing that I want to talk about was, so we saw him leave the court and head into the locker room. They said that he was in concussion protocols, which is kind of weird because I don't know if you all remember what the rule is if you don't shoot the free throws, you're not allowed back in the game.
Yeah.
We saw what happened with Kobe Bryant. Tears his Achilles tendon, stays on the court to shoot the free throws just to have the chance to potentially come back in the game if he's feeling better. Rashawn Holmes is taken totally out of the arena with supposed concussion or in concussion protocols and listed as questionable to return at halftime. He didn't return to the game, but very, very sad. Cal, I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's very sad to see. He actually did. I saw a tweet of him playing in high school. He had goggles on. So at least we know that he's at one point had to play with that before, so maybe it won't be too much of an adjustment.
Well, he wore glasses.
Phase. He did wear glasses.
He had contacts.
Yep. So hopefully he comes back sooner than later. I will say it's awfully hard to shoot free throws when you have a bunch of blood dripping down into your eye. So I'm not surprised that he didn't stay in to shoot the free throws. But yeah, it's just unfortunate. He's such a force for this team in a lot of different ways. He affects the game in so many different ways. Him and Haliburton have this great chemistry together. But on the bright side of that, Tristan Thompson came in and played big time for them tonight. Alex Len did well as well. We saw him get a bunch of blocks there towards the end of the game, on Robin Lopez and even Mo Bamba. But Tristan Thompson brought what you expect him to bring every time he steps on the court. Energy, offensive rebounds. He was good around the basket. He was efficient. And, I'm going to continue to keep saying it. We need to find a way to get this man minutes.
He needs more
every single game.
Yes.
I just don't understand why he doesn't play more.
Yes. I want to give a couple of shout outs here. Sean, the baby daddy, Charlie Boltman, DJ, was that Freshie? Welcome. Thank you guys for joining us. Trade everyone, get Fox. I don't know your name still, but you changed your username. It's not Trade Fox for Simmons. Now it's Trade Everyone, ASSP. Get Simmons. Glad you're here. Let us know your name in the chat. Cal, the baby daddy wants to know about Rolo, Robin Lopez, also known as Sideshow Rob. How'd he play tonight?
Great nickname, Sideshow Rob. Well, he played well. I mean, the Magic have a huge front court, and they can play it in so many different combinations. We saw them start Bamba and Wendell Carter Jr. Franz Wagner is also a big man, 6'9", huge, wide shoulders. Yep. This was not a good matchup for the Kings, who like to play small. They come in with Robin Lopez off the bench. They're playing Lopez and Bamba together. They're playing Carter Jr. and Bamba together. Mm-hmm. So they definitely wanted to take advantage of their size and go inside. And, as far as how everybody played, everyone played well in this game tonight, except for Buddy Hield and RJ Hampton. Those are the only guys who didn't shoot well. Everyone
11
else played
points for Lopez tonight, 5 of 6 shooting from the field. I just saw him in the paint getting little tip-ins and putbacks and stuff like that. Yep. So,
and in the first half, they were really working a high-low game very, very well. They would have, it was like an old-school NBA offense where you'd have one of your bigs come up around the free throw line. They set that pick out on Cole Anthony to get him a shot. If it wasn't there, he'd dump it into the free throw line, extended area. And from there, Wendell Carter Jr. had like 6 assists in the first half because he kept finding Mo Bamba underneath. Because what would happen is the Kings, who were playing small, they would have to rotate. They'd end up with a smaller guy on Bamba, or whoever the other big was, Wagner or whatever, and they would just dump it off to him for easy looks inside all night.
Yep. Shout out Lane, Jeff, Bryce. Thank you guys all for joining us. Hope you guys had a wonderful night. Lane wants to know if we're going to hit 500. Lane, you're just going to have to stick around, bro, till later in the show, because Calvin and I are going to spend a lot of time talking about the schedule coming up, some of these good-looking games, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. What's up, Michael? Good to have you here as well. So, Cal, we talked about Rashawn Holmes. We talked about Harrison Barnes coming back. Relatively mellow game for Harrison Barnes. I saw a lot that I liked from him tonight. I saw some aggressiveness. I saw some leadership. I saw him kind of doing everything that he normally does. He just didn't score a bunch and didn't shoot a lot, which makes sense when everybody else is making shots, and it's your first game back. I want to talk a little bit about Tyrese Haliburton here because I like talking about Tyrese, and I thought he had an incredible game, 18 points, 5 threes in this game, 11 assists, and only 2 turnovers, which is huge. Yep. But I do have to say, watching the game, I saw him get called for a travel where he gets the ball at the top and he tries to go to the basket. Yep. I'm guessing that's one of his turnovers for the night. So meaning he didn't turn the ball over a lot passing the ball. But I've seen this in multiple games where he tries to drive to the basket, picks the ball up, and he gets called for it like over and over and over again. When is this guy going to learn? I love everything else that I saw from him tonight. But that's one little itty-bitty thing that I've seen multiple times that kind of bothers me a little bit.
He has an incredibly bad habit of shuffling his feet every time he catches the ball, whether it's to put it on the floor or even to take a shot. Mm-hmm. For some reason, he doesn't have the solid foot mechanics. His shot in general is not a picture-perfect shot, but he has to get himself shuffled in. It's almost like he has to take a 1-2 step little hop before he puts up that shot. And I think that habit is carrying over to him trying to put the ball on the floor, but his feet are moving before that happens.
Yeah, just something that he's got to work on. You know, all these guys have lots of things that they need to work on. I think he's only got a few things that he really needs to work on. That's one of them that's a priority for me, because when you're playing well and the team is playing well, stuff like that just kills your momentum.
Oh, and absolutely.
It didn't affect them too much in this game, but I love everything else I saw from him. The defense is huge, man. 3 steals, 2 blocks in this game. They were praising his defense all night long, and that's something that I've heard from Luke Walton. I heard from Alvin Gentry that year 2 for Haliburton has been a huge improvement on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, he was good last year. I do think that he's improved. One of the things that I would like him to do a little bit less of, and it's hard because he is one of his greatest strengths is his off-ball defense. He's a fantastic anticipator. He reads passing lanes really, really well. But because of that, he has a tendency sometimes to play too much like a free safety. He loses track of his man. A lot of times he does guess right on where the ball is going to go. But he has to be more cognizant of where his man is at all times, because he does lose them every so often, and it results in either wide open 3 or a guy driving to the basket for an open shot. And again, I say that it's hard to say that because he's so good at anticipating where the ball is going to end up. And most of the time he does guess right. I would just like to see him play a little bit more of a traditional off-ball defense sometimes, rather than completely turning his back to his defender.
I'm so angry that I've missed out on Haliburton jerseys the past 2 seasons. Brand new jersey comes out, size large, which I feel like everybody wears large because that's like the average size, sold out like day one, right away.
Yeah.
Maybe I got to buy one on eBay. Maybe I have to go get the custom jersey that's like $50 more to get it customized to say his name.
Maybe. Or you could wear the one that I got you.
Yeah, that's true. Let's not bring that up. But yeah, that's a bunch of BS. That's all I'm saying. So let's talk about Tyrese and Fox. Amazing game tonight. De'Aaron Fox, 33 points, but it was a quiet 33 points. I didn't think that De'Aaron Fox really took over the game till late in the fourth quarter. We saw a third quarter, a huge run for the Kings. Tyrese Haliburton couldn't miss. He was making all these shots. And then I looked down, I'm like, wow. De'Aaron Fox has got 22 points tonight. Yeah. And then he just goes on this run and takes over the game. Everything that us Kings fans have wanted to see from him. But I think this is probably the best game, not defensively, but just offensively, that we've seen these two guys work together.
Yeah.
So I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Well, first of all, sorry, I'm just seeing this message here from Lane on the TV. I am recovering from bronchitis. Lane, I missed our last show, so yes, I'm struggling to try to keep my voice for the rest of this
It's a
podcast.
non-COVID related injury.
I did clear the health and safety protocols, so we're all good there. You're right. This was, I think, the best game overall that Tyrese and De'Aaron Fox have played offensively together. That being said, there was very, very little resistance put up in this game. They pretty much got whatever they wanted. They still played, the right style, I think. They were, especially in the second half. Fox was much more aggressive trying to push the ball into the paint, which is where he really got going. He made a couple of layups early, got to the free throw line consistently, and he hit his free throws. And it helps when you hit your 2 threes that you attempt as well. So I think, nobody's got time for that. So
I wish I had a week off of work, man.
It's been nice. One of the greatest things that came with that is I got to watch a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
So I was really, really happy about that. And I had a lot of time to think. It feels like we haven't done this in so long. I only missed one show, but it just feels like it's been years. So I have all these thoughts running through my head every night when I'm laying in bed, because all I could do was be in bed for a while. But anyway, I'm glad to be back. And yeah, to your point, Fox and Halliburton, they played fantastic offensively. But again, they could get to their spots. They did basically whatever they wanted tonight. The Magic really did not have an answer for them. Cole Anthony was too small to guard De'Aaron Fox, not quick enough. He just got him into the paint and brushed him off every time. Haliburton was consistently left wide open. I mean, he took advantage of those opportunities, but they just let him shoot from wherever he wanted. Even at the end there when he snuck away after the Magic were on the free throw line, they completely lose track of him. He's wide open in the corner. So he probably felt like, man, this is great. No, nobody's contesting my shots. I can just get him up whenever I want to.
Yep. Hey, Fred, we're going to talk about trades here in the second part of the show. Right now, we're just kind of breaking down what happened in this game. Hopefully, you can stay with us. If not, we pull the 3 different sections out of the show, and we'll repost them as YouTube videos. But just hang around, man. We got a lot of fun things, a lot of crazy fun things to talk about. All right, so I'm seeing some people here in the chat. They want to talk about Marvin Bagley, 19 minutes from him. We're going to talk about him in the next section as well. But as far as his performance tonight, 50% from the field, 50% from three-point range, 6 rebounds, 1 steal, 12 points. Another great game from Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, he's just continuing to take advantage of the opportunity that he's been given, and Gentry has given him a much needed opportunity here. He's gotten more comfortable. He's been able to shake that rust off, and give him a lot of credit. He's crashing the offensive boards super hard. I think that is the main thing that's getting him going offensively. But on a larger scale here, this is again about the Kings bench, which is, in my opinion, the greatest strength of this team. It has been all year long. Even without Buddy Hield doing anything basically tonight, you still get Davion Mitchell, who scores 18 points. You get Marvin Bagley, who comes off the bench and produces. Tristan Thompson has 14 points. Again, the Kings bench dominated the Orlando bench, and that was overall the difference in this game because, this was a close game for most of it. It was only 3-point lead at halftime, and I think the Kings, having that second wave be able to come in and produce offensively the way that they did, ended up being the difference in this game.
Yeah, and the Kings actually have the 3rd best producing bench in the NBA. So it goes to show. And it's weird because Buddy Hield has been in such a slump. I don't really know why. And we're going to talk about that a little bit later. But back on the subject of Marvin Bagley, I want to ask you what the difference is in this guy. And everyone's going to say, well, minutes. He's getting minutes now. He's playing now. But it just seems like he's engaged. It seems like he's a new guy. It seems like the Kings have been like, wow, Marvin, you're part of the team now. Because for a while, I don't know if it was a situation between him and Luke. We heard about the problems Dave Yeager had with Marvin, and maybe it wasn't exactly Marvin. It was management's decision to choose Marvin and tell him to play him. But Luke was actually given the freedom to not play Marvin. It didn't work out so well for Luke Walton.
Yeah.
But Marvin's getting minutes now, and he's playing really well. And it makes me feel good because I was pretty critical of Marvin Bagley. I didn't like the stuff I saw from his dad and all that other drama that happened. I felt like he should have had some time. He should have got some minutes to be out there on the court. But I trusted Luke. I felt like, well, there's a reason this guy's not playing. We started out pretty hot, and then we fell apart. But I'm just so happy what I've seen from him. What's the main difference that you've seen?
Well, definitely playing time, is a huge factor in that. But I really think it's got to be getting a vote of confidence from the coaching staff. Whether Luke Walton can come out in press conferences and say he likes Marvin Bagley, he believes in him, he wants him to be a part of this team, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, if you're not part of the rotation, how do you believe that your coach has confidence in you? When I was a senior in high school, I started out the year as a starter, and I didn't always believe that my head coach had a lot of confidence in me. He would have a really short leash on me. He would pull me really quickly in games oftentimes, and eventually I ended up on the bench. One of our assistant coaches had a lot of confidence in me, and he kept telling me to stick with it. Just go out and play. Do what you do best, all of that stuff.
Shut up and dribble.
Shut up and dribble. And as I started to hear that from him more often, I started to play better and better and better and better. And eventually I got myself back into the starting lineup and finished the year as an all-league member. So, coaching, confidence from your coaching staff, I think, goes a really, really long way. And I think that it's very much helping Marvin Bagley right now.
Yeah, we saw Alex Len play again tonight, 17 minutes. I liked what I saw from him in the limited time, but this dude just keeps getting in foul trouble, man. What is going on here?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough when you go against a team that's this big, right? And you're constantly having to switch and maneuver around and be the rim protector in the middle of the paint. And then, there's always the old adage of you're a big body, you've got 6 fouls, why not use them?
Yep.
So I still like his aggressiveness defensively. He had 4 fouls tonight, so it's not like he was on the verge of fouling out. It would have cost them a little bit more not having Rashawn Holmes available to come back. Mm-hmm. But I'm certainly not disappointed with how Len was playing defensively.
I mean, only 17 minutes from him tonight, and that's with Holmes coming out early in the game, which is surprising. But Tristan Thompson
exactly,
played really, really well.
Exactly. And having, Marvin Bagley be reasserted into the lineup and be able to play more minutes as well, that's another big body.
Yep.
We didn't see Metu in this game at all. Mm-hmm. Didn't see Harkless. I know that he's still not 100% healthy and back ready to play. So as long as the Kings have this advantage of having a deep, deep bench, and so they can get away with playing guys 13 to 17 minutes and still have them be effective because there is the next man up mentality, and they've been taking advantage of that.
Charlie has a good point here in the chat. He says, I don't know if it's a secret, but Gentry doesn't like Buddy. He was in the doghouse in New Orleans and took some shots at Gentry after he was traded to the Kings in that Cousins deal. That's very, very relevant. I mean,
it's hard to argue with that right now.
He was a rookie at the time.
Yeah.
Played half the season. Yeah. So how much confidence does your coach really have in you at that point?
Yeah.
We're not really sure. But
look,
I get it.
When you're 1 for 7 from 3 and you bring the ball down court and you throw up a shot from the logo to try to get yourself back into it, that's not how you work yourself into the game offensively. It's a horrible, horrible shot. I mean, even Steph Curry, if he's 1 for 7 from 3 at that time and he takes a shot like that, most people probably aren't going to think anything of it. Mm-hmm. But the coaching staff might be like, hey, man, come on, let's run some offense. Let's get you going off of a screen. Let's get you a better shot than that. And Buddy Hield just repeatedly does these things over and over and over again.
Speaking of Steph Curry, I got to see how many threes he made tonight. As you guys know, he was 16 away from the record. Come on, Steph. How many threes did you make tonight?
Most threes all time in NBA history. Any player. Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. Come on, tell me how many threes he shot tonight. 35%.
Ray Allen currently holds the record. Allen retired
2014,
something like that. So, yeah.
Hold on, I'm looking it up here. You want to talk about Davion?
Yeah, I loved what I saw from Davion tonight. And this just furthers my point that we were talking about, a couple of weeks ago when he was still struggling shooting, in that this guy is a very, very talented player. His shot mechanics are great. He's really, really good with the ball in his hands, great at creating space, creating his own shot. I saw somebody in the chat said Davion doesn't pass the ball. Not exactly true. I mean, he did have 4 assists tonight. And when you're shooting that well, most teams are going to say, keep shooting. So I think it's only a matter of time, like we've seen, that he's going to start to figure things out. He's going to shoot better. This is exactly what he did in college. He didn't shoot well at first, but he got better and better and better and better as he got more experience. And when you have a guy that is that good defensively, you need to make time for him on the court no matter what, even if he's struggling offensively. So I was really, really pleased with how Davion played tonight. It's a little bit of a catch-22 because, like we said, there was no defense played in this game. You could kind of get whatever you wanted. But this is just another building block for him to feel more comfortable shooting the ball. And if Buddy Hield is going to really struggle, you need somebody to come off the bench and score for you.
Yep.
And he did that tonight.
4 assists, 0 turnovers. I mean, he seems to be passing the ball a little bit. And when you're making shots, 18 points, that's great. Shout out, Jeremiah. I'm glad you love the NBA Jam tee. Calvin and I actually have a NBA Jam arcade, and we've been playing a ton of NBA Jam and some hang time. We got our own characters created. Calvin's got all the records. I'm just there for fun. But
not all the records anymore. And the game has you ranked as the #1 overall player now.
I'm working my way back. It's a slow process. If I were you and I had the whole week off, I would have just been playing that thing the whole time. You could have padded some stats.
I was in bed a little bit too much, but...
All right, anything else you want to talk about the game here? I got one more mention in my notes here.
Give it to me.
Third quarter, I saw some fire coming from Tyrese Haliburton. He was making some threes.
He didn't get teed up, actually.
He was making some threes. He got fouled. They didn't call it, and he let the ref know it. You saw the coaching staff grabbing him and holding him back. Yeah. I love to see that, man. I love it. That's what I've been telling you. The Kings need this. That's why I want a guy like Marcus Smart. That's why I want one of these guys. And to see Tyrese Haliburton getting angry and wanting these victories, and this is when the Kings are up 12.
Yeah.
So I love to see it. I hope they encourage that even more because when you have guys playing with passion, it's a lot harder to lose basketball games.
Yeah, you do need to see that competitive fire from you'd like to see it from all these guys. Saw it from Tristan Thompson tonight as well after he gets that big alley-oop dunk and gets teed up for getting in Wendell Carter, I believe it was, face.
Oh, he was yelling at the bench.
Oh, well, he was definitely yelling at Wendell Carter, too.
And then I saw a mother F.
Yeah. That usually does it. But in that moment, I agree. I liked to see that.
When I was younger, my mom, she was like trying to teach me about bad words and stuff like that. And she's like, I'm not mad if you use a bad word as long as you don't direct it towards somebody. But he was directing it towards some people, so I get it.
He was definitely calling some people out, yeah.
I get it. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break here, and when we come back, we will dive deeper into your Kings with a new segment called Around the Crown.